Hey, welcome back to Fat Mama Physics. In this video, we're going to continue on with subtracting rational numbers part 2. Part 1, we did some examples and I introduced a long board game. But let's get started with this second page here, okay? Alrighty. Hey, we got decimals. This is pretty easy because A, you could just put this into your calculator. I do prefer that you do a bit of predicting before you do the subtraction because it will help work your conceptual understanding a little bit. First off, starting with number A, let's see. I'm going to do A. Maybe you do B. I will do C. And I'll let you do D. Okay. How about this? I do A, I'll do D, okay? The easiest and the hardest example. Well, A is not that bad. Okay, 1.6 minus 3.9. So, you're probably thinking, ooh, I'm subtracting a larger number. So what do I do then? Whenever you see you subtracting a larger number, that's going to tell you that your final answer is going to turn out to be negative. Why? If you're subtracting a bigger number, it means that, think of this, you have a certain amount of money, and if you take out a loan, you take out a bigger loan that whatever compared to what you already have, you're going to be in debt. And being in debt means you're going to have some negative sum of money. So here I will definitely have a negative number. And what is it going to be? The easiest way to do the math in your head is to find the difference between 1.6 and 3.9. So if I just subtract these right now, I'm going to get 2.3. And if I find the difference between the two, all I have to do is just slap it right in front of that negative sign to give me my negative number. Okay? And, yeah, it's exactly the same thing. If I say flipped it around and say 3.9 minus 1.6, I just have the negative sign on the different number. Because if you think about it, this 1.6 has an invisible positive sign in front. Okay? And, of course, if you're never sure, use a calculator to check your answer. Alright, guess what? Hey, it's time for B. Great time to pause the video and try B and C, actually. Okay, so time to go over B. 1.6 minus negative 3.9. And guess what? If you're subtracting a negative, that's exactly the same as adding 3.9. And this just becomes addition, which is fantastic. I get 5.5 as the answer. Okay, next up C, we have negative 2.3 minus 4.7. And since this is both subtracting, it's like it's like doing the same question, but you're adding the two numbers. So 2.3 plus 4.7, but now in this case, they're both minus, meaning that you have a loan and now you have more loan. It's like you have $22.3, then you have an extra $4.7. So the easiest way to treat this one is to add these two numbers first, just like you would do addition, and then slap the negative in front. So here I'm going to get 3 plus 7, that's going to give me 0. And then add 1, that's going to be 7.0. And that's going to be a negative in front. If you have left it as just positive 7, or if you just left it as 7, that's okay as well. Okay. Ideally, what you could have done to show me a little bit more work was if you did 2.3 plus 4.7. If you added them like this, it shows that, you know, you're doing the math on the page. So that'd be cool. That would be great if you could do that. Okay, next up. Ooh, hey, this is my problem now. I have negative 2.3 minus this negative and minus another 3.2. So if I have to rewrite this, let's rewrite it first. I get 2.3 plus 3.9 minus 3.2. Let's do one thing at a time. Let's see here. I think I'm going to, alright, I'll do it in order. I would have actually just subtract these two first and then add the 3.9, but let's do things in order. Minus 2.3 plus 3.9, since here there's no multiplying, dividing, brackets, or anything. According to BEDMAS, I can just go with the order that I have on the page. So, I'm going to subtract 2.3 from 3.9. So I have 3.9 minus 2.3. This is going to give me 1.6. So this over here is 1.6. 1.6 minus 3.2. And because it is negative 3.2 is larger, I know my final answer is going to be negative. And I just have to find a difference between 3.2 and 1.6. That's actually going to be 1.6. But here, just so I can show you, this is 6, take away 1, that's going to be 2 minus 1 is 1.6 over here. So I'm going to get negative 1.6 as my final answer. Kind of makes sense. I got 2 negative numbers and 1 positive number. I'm probably going to get a negative number in my answer. Okay? All right, that was it. That was just subtracting decimal numbers. Again, please use a calculator to check your answer to see if it's correct. That's always a good idea. Next up, we have a few word problems to take a look at. So let's start with this one. Think the difference between 2 points gives you... Okay, so let's start with this example. A diver jumps off a cliff that is 14.7 above sea level. After hitting the water, he plunges 3.8 meters below the water surface. How far was his dive? So here we just want to draw a vertical number line to help us out. So here, I'll do this one for us. I'm going to put this one here as the sea level. If this is a sea level, we can represent this one as 0 meters. Okay. He starts off 14.7 meters above the sea level, which is over here. Then after he goes, he dives off the cliff, he plunges 3.8 meters below the water level. So here I'm going to represent it using a negative number, negative 3.8 meters, since this is lower than 0 meters, which is the sea level. And, okay, so here we go. This is our diagram. Number A, write each measurement above as a rational number. Distance measured above sea level is positive. Distance measured below sea level is negative. Haha, we've already done that in the vertical number line. So we can just write this one, positive 14.7 meters, and then negative 3.8 meters for below the sea level. Okay, for B, write a subtraction statement that represents the distance between the two heights. You know what? Maybe a good time for you to think about this problem and try it yourself. Keep in mind here, you must use a subtraction statement, meaning you're only allowed to subtract numbers. It doesn't tell you what numbers you can subtract. You can subtract whatever number you want. You can subtract positive, negative numbers, but you must use the subtraction sign. Maybe a good time to pause the video right now and try this problem. Okay, I will do B, subtraction statement. So I want to find the distance between the two heights. So I'm going to take my first number, which is where he started, which is 14.7 meters, which is above the sea level, and I'm going to subtract where he plunges off below. He goes to negative 3.8 meters above the sea level. So if I subtract that number, I'm going to be able to find the difference. Remember, finding the difference between numbers is represented by the subtraction sign. It's just like subtracting two numbers. But if I subtract a negative number, you're right, you're thinking, why don't you get a positive number? That's true, because take a look at this overall change in his distance. That's a big change because he's already going into the negative region, which is going to be a larger difference overall. Okay, and this means if I simplify this one, this is 14.7 meters plus 3.8 meters, which is going to give me, what is this? This is going to be 5, carry 1 over, 8, and 1 meters. 18.1 meters is going to be the distance between the two heights. Okay, and box my answer. Okay, and so notice that I use the subtraction statement, and if I subtract a negative number, it makes my number bigger. And it so happens to be this way because this person goes through the sea level and into the negative region, making that difference a lot higher. All right, here we go. That's it. That's 1.3 subtracting rational numbers. So you know what? Good idea to keep practicing these type of questions. I wish you the best of luck, and Fat Mama Physics signing out.